Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the most used tools you probably have in your garage to help keep your yard clean and looking tidy, namely the string trimmer or the weed whacker. Today we're going to be talking about how to replace the string in your trimmer line, some of the steps you can take to do it, tools that you're going to need, and also just how simple it can really be. So let's go. Okay, for this project, there's really only 3 tools you're going to need. Namely your trimmer, the trimmer line, and then also something to cut your line with. It's an Echo gas trimmer. And for most of these gas trimmers, you're going to be using the 0.095 line right here. It'll say on the end. And I'll include links in the description to any of the items that I use for my trimmer. There are sizes from 0.065 on up to 0.095 and even above, but most trimmers that do any sort of decent cutting are going to be the 0.095, and you're going to see that reflected on sites like Amazon. You'll find the most options in the 0.095. So that's what we've got. We've got our trimmer line. I just use some, garden clippers, and then I've got my trimmer. All right, we're ready to take off our trimmer head and start replacing the string in the trimmer. So the first thing you're going to want to do is if you look on the head, you'll see that there's this cap right here. We need to remove this cap. While every trimmer is slightly different, the mechanics are usually about the same. There's going to be a couple release buttons that you can press to pull off this cap. So you can see there's one here. There's also one on this side here. So I'm just going to push put my hand around it, push those in, the cap pops up, and I can pull it off. So you're going to feed the string through this hole, and it's going to go through. There's another little hole. I don't know if you can see it. It's right in the core. It's going to go through that, go all the way through here, and then will come out the other side through this hole. So we're going to feed the string all the way through. And then the last piece is the fun part. That's when we wind it up. Let's go ahead and feed the string through and show you what that looks like. So one question we get is how much trimmer line to use when you're replacing the string in your trimmer. I found that one simple hack for knowing how much string to use is basically to take the length of your arms, that much string times 4. I'm about 6 feet tall. That equates to about 20 to 25 feet of string. That seems to be about the max that you can fit in there without it being too tight, potentially causing issues. But if you're in the kind of the 5 to 6 foot range, again, I would just take my arms and do it about 4 times. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'll take one. It doesn't have to be perfect. I find this is a lot easier than actually pulling out something to measure because I'm a little bit lazy. So anyways, we're at, let's see, one more, 3. And it's a little bit easier if you put it on a table and just kind of let this thing roll out. So I'm at 4 right here. Okay, we're at the point of cutting. So I've just marked it by holding on, where that 4th arm length of string was. So I'm just going to cut it right here. Put this guy down, and now we're going to go put this in our trimmer. All right, so we've got our trimmer line. We're ready to feed it through and then just start winding it up. There is a trick to this. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is this little cord you can see right here, there's a hole. We want this hole to line up with this hole right here. So it might help to take this off and just to kind of set it down in there. You may have to spin one side or the other to kind of line it up. So right here is about lined up, okay? The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to put this in, make sure it goes in the core. It's going to go through that little, this little tunnel right here. And then you can see it starting to come out on the other side. This is where you might need to give it a little bit of help. I find that if I just spin the string a little bit, I can usually just get it to line right up. There we go. Okay. It took a couple of jabs in there, but I got it. Okay. You see that? I went all the way through with the string. So once you're at this point, the next step is to pull this side out so that both sides are even. Okay, for this part, I usually like to lay the trimmer down on its back just to give me a little bit of room, because what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna just take both sides of this trimmer line, I'm gonna pull it out and make them even on either side. If you don't get it just right, no sweat, you can always clip one of the sides to make it match. But I've just found this is one of the easiest things to do. So basically you find both sides of the line that you just put in, and then basically I just take a step back, kind of eyeball it, and pull that one out a little bit, and now I've got about the same amount of line on both sides. I'll kind of grab it on my way back up just to keep it where it is, and now I'm ready to put the cap back on. So you're gonna put it back on the same way you took it off. Find those openings where the buttons were pressed in, and then you're just gonna basically fit it on there, push it tight till it clicks. You can see both sides. It's ready to go. All right, now that we have the cap on, it's time for the fun part. This is where we wind it up. So what you're gonna do is I like to honestly take this and turn it back over this way so you're using gravity to kind of pull the string away from your trimmer. For the video's sake, I'm gonna keep it a little bit more vertical. But what you're gonna do is get one hand, put it on the static part of the head right here. Take your other hand, put it on the spinning part, and then you're gonna wind this up. For this one, it's clockwise. Here we go. And occasionally you may have to kind of move these out of the way just so they don't kind of bunch up or turn into knots. Okay, as I start getting near the end, I'm gonna watch it. What you don't wanna do is leave this too long. You see it'll cut right here. As soon as you spin it, that's where it cuts the string off. I've had times where, you leave it too long, it gets cut, and then a big 3-inch piece of string trimmer line comes flying out at your face or something. So I like to keep it as close to where it's gonna get cut as possible. And like I said, these aren't totally even. This one will get cut a little bit. I could get my clipper and just cut off maybe 3 inches just so it doesn't get hit, but this should probably be okay. I don't really want this to go in anymore for the sake of having to go too far in and having issues. All right, we've done it. Let's take this thing out for a spin. All right, we're gonna mow this first, and then we're gonna trim it, give it the nice finishing touch. All right, now it's time to give this trimmer a whirl. All reloaded with trimmer string and ready to go. Safety first. Let's do this. All right, that's it. You've learned how to reload the line in a string trimmer. It's not that hard. It keeps your trimmer working great so you can have a nice, beautiful, tidy lawn. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow our channel so you'll be notified when we put out other videos like this. And also, if you're looking for some other simple tips to keep your lawn green and beautiful all summer, watch this video right here where Greg talks about the 3 simple things to keep your lawn looking green.